Welcome everyone to the month of May. I'm here with Vinny and the Kuna. I'm Kyle Heyer and this is Sim TV. And you know what May means in the racing world? That means Indianapolis. But before we can get to the Indianapolis 500 later in the season, we have to do the Indianapolis road course. And we are here for the Grand Prix of Indiana here on Sim TV with the Rigshare World Series for the International Sim Drivers Club. All right, Vinny, and this is going to be a great race tonight. 41 laps, 55-minute time limit on this race this evening. Full course yellows are in effect. So this is round 3 of 15 in the 2018 Rigshare World Series. Rigshare LLC is the title sponsor of the Rigshare World Series, based out of Lehigh Valley, specializing in mining cryptocurrency. Check out the links in the description for that. But in 13 turns here in Indianapolis, 73 degrees in the air, 84 on the track, mostly cloudy, and a 2-mile-an-hour wind from the north. And this is going to be a good one tonight.
Yeah, honestly, I gotta say, this is a pretty great road course as you can get that aerial shot of it. I don't know, it's like simple, but it has its charm in its simplicity.
Yeah, it's a beautiful road course, and it's been resurfaced since iRacing has scanned it here, so it's a little bit different now than in the real world, but this layout, pretty straightforward, very flat though, not a lot of elevation change, and some of these braking zones really encourage drivers to charge the entry and try to make passes. So we're qualifying right now, there's about 11.5 minutes remaining in that. You see the 62 of Stephen Larkamp currently rounding the backside of the course. And we will get these guys gridded up and ready to run, so can't exactly see how many we have this evening so far, but it is well over 25. And we have our new ticker graphics this week, as we saw last week at Motegi was the first time we debuted them here. But this evening we got a couple new cool features, such as blinking LED-style flag icons and all sorts of other things associated with that. So, as we watch qualifying here, we're on board with the 62 of Stephen Larkamp, Finian. Indianapolis road course, the banking here, you're not really relying on it quite so much on the road course as you are on the oval. But road course racing with the IndyCar, always a fun blast.
Yeah, definitely. This is a really fun track combination. I would say almost in any high downforce car this track's.
We're running aboard Larkamp there. We're going to jump out and take another look at Danny Roberts. And Danny Roberts was successful in his first couple of ventures this season, and I believe he won last week at Motegi.
Yes, he did.
And in a dominating fashion, led most of the race, and you can see him right now on pole for the time being, and Johnny Eckert in the 90, going to be P2 for the time. And we got one spun around, and that's Eckert in the 90, and he's going to have to go out there and try to best his lap of a 110.746. But as we work our way into the third round, the first 2 races of this season were oval races, and they've been very close battles between those drivers. But this week, a little bit different. Cars are going to get strung out a little bit more, but what are the things you have to watch out for driving on a road course versus oval?
Definitely, it's kind of funny to say, but really it is a matter of the fact that you do have to also turn right. For some of these guys, it's a lot harder to adjust. You know, some guys are good at ovals and roads, some guys just good at ovals, some guys are just good at roads. So the guys who are really good at road courses will definitely shine tonight.
A couple other notes for tonight. Again, I said 41 laps or 55 minutes, whichever one comes first, and there are full course yellows tonight, so if there's a wreck, we will go under full course yellow. Fuel is capped at 11.6 gallons. We will have frequent pit stops this evening. Entering the pits, drivers must be on the apron before oval turn 1. And we got fixed setups this evening, no resets, rolling start for this race. And again, one of the things we're going to see here more than we probably see at a lot of the ovals is no reactive blocking. You cannot change your position based on the driver behind you, and sometimes that can really mean you're going to put yourself in a bad position if you don't go defensive coming right out of the corner. There's Tim Silman in the 39, Rigshare Gallara, going out for their lap. And Danny Roberts still on pole right now with a 110.487, but we still have 9 minutes left. And I think we're seeing all the familiar names up front: Danny Roberts, Johnny Eckert, Stephen Larkamp, Zach Buchanan, Nick Stoller, and Kyle Pokerkey, as well as Jackson Robillard, Tanner Watkins, Chris Gutierrez, and Justin Nichols. That's your top 10. A lot of familiar names up there. And one of the ones I'm looking at is Zach Buchanan, who is, as you see him spinning out right there, going for a little loop at Cordes Dallara, but very competitive last week and just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, it was great. I gotta say, great run by him running up on the front. Didn't have enough, unfortunately, but he does seem to have a decent amount of pace here, so we'll see if he can make a good finish out of tonight.
Yeah, played some strategy and got out in front of the 41 of Danny Roberts, but ended up falling back a little bit later in the race. And another thing here is you see Buchanan driving around it right now, curbs. This is the first time we've gone to a road course in the Rigshare World Series this season, and these curves here, not exceptionally tall, but...
Yeah, and we just saw him hit a curb, so that really shows you that the curbing, you gotta be very nice with it.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with these tires up and over the curbs. IndyCar, as you see, who's that in front of Buchanan going for a wild slide over the grass. You can't be too aggressive over the curbing, especially in turn 1. That curb is pretty tall, and these low to the ground Indy cars don't like being jacked up in the air like a stock car does. So careful, you have to respect the racetrack here, and there's not a whole lot of banking in the corners. You see Buchanan going around again, trying to eke every little bit of speed out of the outlet, but he's going to loop it once more. But as I was saying, got to respect the racetrack. Not a lot of banking to save you, as we've seen in some other road courses, such as maybe Watkins Glen or Sonoma. A little bit of banking there, elevation change there, not here at Indianapolis.
Yeah, one name I noticed that we were missing last week is Justin Rector.
Justin Rector, the winner from Week 1 at Homestead, from the 0-3.
Nice to see him nice to see him show up. So, I definitely was interested to see where he would finish MotoGP last week, because he did do really well at Homestead. Ooh, almost hit a car there.
Whoa, he's going to bounce it off the tire barrier. Though those tire barriers are pretty soft and won't damage the car too much, so it looks like you have to replace that. Whoa! And man, he gets up on 2
wow,
wheels.
I am glad we caught that on camera.
Well, I was saying how the curbs weren't that tall here, but I think Rector is going to disagree with me there. And Justin Rector is going to be driving that Genesee Beer Dodge for Plant 1 Racing this evening. So hopefully he can keep all 4 tires on the ground. That's always a thing you want Indy cars to have on the ground, all 4 tires. Couple new faces in here that we're not quite used to seeing. The 71, the 93, those are not drivers I'm used to seeing. So it's nice to see some new drivers out as well as the returning ones. I also want to mention later tonight at 11:20, the late night sprints visit Lanier. 11:45 Eastern green flag. And the password for the server, I'm not going to get it out here on stream, but you can probably find that via the Discord. Other series news, Zach Buchanan won the ISDC Grand National Series Pennzoil 400 from Homestead last Thursday. The CSRT Super Trucks were off last week. Grand National visits New Hampshire this Thursday evening, so tune in to watch that from New Hampshire. And this Thursday as well, the CSRT Super Trucks are back in action at USA International, so a nice good short track for those drivers this week. So 5 minutes left in qualifying. Up front, nothing much has changed. Danny Roberts, Johnny Eckert, Stephen Larkamp, and Jackson Robillard jumped up a couple spots from 7th into 4th. So you see the Robillard there in the Cordis Stellara again, that number 98, working his way through the first sector of the course. Awesome onboard camera there from the right front suspension. We want to thank Finian, our own very own Finian DeCuna, for setting up the cameras each and every week. He does a fantastic job. All these cameras are custom and done in-house. And it really shows on weeks like this week. That's a really cool camera.
Everyone's been waiting for us to go to back to a road course to show this one off.
I think it's actually used in, I don't know if it's for the Scars intro or for the ISDC one, but one of the cars jumping the curb from this angle. I think it's at Sebring. That's a pretty cool shot there. So hopefully we get to see that in action this evening. Tim Silliman is going to drive the number 39 into 5th place, and Poker P is going to maintain a spot in 6th. Zach Buchanan, Tanner Watkins, Nick Stoller, Chris Gutierrez round out your top 10. So 20 cars have made a lap, although I think John Wilco is going to take another shot at it with 1:19, about 9.5 seconds off the pace from the pole. Still held by that 41 Ferrari for Ferrari. I love saying that. Robert's enjoying that sponsorship opportunity there. Justin Rector still hasn't made a lap without an incident.
Yeah, I want to see where he ends up on the grid, but yeah, hasn't so far made the grid.
Still a couple minutes left. He got enough time for you see Danny Roberts flying by. Rector's going to let him by in that Genesee local company, right? I think, to me. From Rochester, New York. I don't really know anything about beer drinks, so I don't know. I think that's a local company, but I'll have to check it on that later. And there he goes. Finally puts a time on the board, but I don't think that's really an actual time. 1:25.492. So he'll go for another one. He's going to loop it and going to have to take another shot.
He's kind of running out of shots. Time is ticking down. These guys have 3.5 minutes left on the clock for qualifying.
Also want to note bonus points again. Winning pole gives you a bonus point, so Danny Roberts is looking at grabbing another bonus point if Stephen Larkamp, who's jumped to the second, can't improve anymore. Leading a single lap is another bonus point. Most laps is actually 2 bonus points, and the most a driver can score in a single race is 54 points. Finishing first will gather you 50 of those automatically. So, as we set right here for 41 laps, this is not something we're really used to doing here, Finian, but we've been relatively light on the cautions the past 2 weeks. And I was talking to Will Roberts earlier, said that he's going to be, the word was liberal with the caution flags if there are incidents. You think this is going to be a pretty clean one? I'm thinking it's probably going to go pretty clean.
Yeah, I think it's going to go pretty clean because typically with road course racing, the cars are going to get separated out, and there's less drivers in the same space or same part of real estate, same real estate on the track. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to really see much of anything unless like cars get into heavy contact and cars are stranded on the track. Then we might see a caution or two, but usually it's really unlikely. I would be surprised if we do see that.
Riding on board with the Sparko hands cam for the 41 of Danny Roberts. And we also have Sparko's links in the video description. We want to thank Sparko for coming on board, helping us out through our contact with Justin Richardson over at SCARS. We want to extend a special thank you to Justin for that. Been a great contact, and we've had a lot of fun working with him. Very nice guy, and the whole SCARS group, too. They have their IndyCar Series races every week. That 3-wide truck series does not have races with us, so every Sunday night at 10 o'clock p.m., that is when SCARS will race their IndyCar Series, as well as they have a fun new series coming up here in a couple weeks, GRC, Tuesday nights, and Finian will actually be driving in it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I love doing rallycross, so it's going to be fun to do it with those guys, seeing them race with me.
Yeah, and I'll be broadcasting that one solo, so Finian will be having a lot of fun. We do some in-race reporter stuff. That'll be a lot of fun, and as well as there's also going to be a Thursday series for SCARS driving fixed street stocks at free road courses in iRacing, so that'll be a cool thing too. I don't think that's going to be broadcasted necessarily, but we never really know for sure. And meanwhile, we've got about a minute and a half left of qualifying, and Roberts, I think, is going to be satisfied. Has moved his time up to a 1:10.266, and Stephen Larkamp's going to jump up to a 1:10.674. Also, Rigshare World Series history at this racetrack. This is the first time that we have come to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course. 5 times previously, they visited the Oval, and previous winners of the Indy 500 here, Chris Gutierrez, Bradley Walters, Cody Wenz, and Tim Silman, and Tanner Watkins, several of which are in the field this evening. So 42 seconds left. These drivers may or may not get a lap in here. There's Tanner Watkins in the number 11. Watkins in that bright blue Dallara, very easy to spot, which is awesome for us. One of the things we're talking about is, with the trucks from 3-wide, a little bit easier to attach the personality to the paint scheme. A lot more real estate for numbers and sponsors. And on the IndyCar, you kind of got to go by color at a distance. Thanks, Tanner, for having a nice, easy-to-spot vehicle, as well as Danny Roberts got a nice, cool, bright red paint scheme. All right, Finian, qualifying is ending here. And it looks like Danny Roberts is going to be on pole in the number 41 Ferrari. And that's not really unexpected. I think that was, we probably could have guessed that out of the get-go, so he is doing well so far. Also, notice the number 40's name is not showing up on the ticker, so I'm hoping that'll sort itself out. Right. So qualifying concludes here. There's Tanner Watkins in the number 11, and behind him, Tim Silliman in the 39. Number 40 is Zach Buchanan, so I'm not exactly sure why his name isn't showing up, but hopefully that'll sort itself out, because I think it was working earlier. But no harm, no fouls. As always, a work in progress here at SimTV, so anything that is a little bit weird this week will probably be fixed by next week. We were dealing with audio issues last night in 3-wide, and always something to fix, so we'll try to work on that. Tim Silliman finishing up a lap, and Justin Nichols in the 24, going to head to pit road. Heisingfeld Honda for Cordis Sim Racing. All right, so your top 5 going to look like Danny Roberts in the 41, Stephen Larkamp in the 62, Zach Buchanan in the 40, Johnny Eckert in the 90, and Tanner Watkins in the 11, then followed Jackson Robillard, Tim Silliman, Kyle Pokerkey, Nick Stollard, and Chris Gutierrez, rounding out your top 10. 23 cars made a time here. There are a couple more in the session that didn't make a lap. We'll see if those guys grid and race this evening. I expect 33 of Deacon Allen, the 20, Kevin Anders, Johnny Bell in the 27, and Phil Clark in the 28, all to join us for the race. All right, so everyone is off track fitting here. 41 laps or 55 minutes, whatever comes first. And if there's any cautions, I expect to see that 55 minutes come before the 41 laps, so we'll keep an eye on the timer. So the checkered flag flies in qualifying officially. We're going to have our pace lap following the rough RT12 pace car here for the Grand Prix of Indiana. So you watch this field grid up, going in the wrong direction on the straightaway here. A little bit sacrilegious for those that are here for the Indy 500. This is a little bit backwards from what we're used to. Usually you're heading the other direction at like 240 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And here we're going to be going the other direction at about 200 miles an hour. So a little bit different for the drivers here. The Indy road course, again, supplies a lot of interesting corners, varying radii, and a couple high-speed sections as well. Very unique road course, and also pretty large for a Roval when you compare it to, you know, Charlotte or Kansas or one of those other ones. And maybe not quite as large as Daytona, but Daytona is, you know, an endurance course, so that's special on its own. So as we grid up everybody here, we get everyone sorted out for the pace lap. So let's take another look at the weather information again while we're at it. And here the Grand Prix of Indiana, 13 turns here. Again, 73 degrees air temp, 84 track temp, mostly cloudy skies, and again, that little beautiful breeze, 2 miles an hour, just enough to make that air feel just a little bit cooler out here. So 41 laps, 13 turns. Can't do the math in my head, but it's going to be a lot of corners here. And first road course of the 2018 Rigshare World Series Season 6. It's going to be a good one, Finian. All right, so almost everyone is gridded at this point. We're just waiting for a few stragglers. Deacon Allen, one of those, Kevin Anders in the 20, 27 to Johnny Bell. Looks like they are not going to grid, as the pace car is going to get rolling here. Just a moment. There it goes. The rough RT12 pace car is going to pull off. And Danny Roberts in that red 41 is going to roll off behind it, alongside the 90, or excuse me, the 62 of Stephen Larkamp. And Stephen Larkamp, previous champion in this series, and always going to be a threat. That is a big field of cars. Sorry, go ahead, Finian.
Oh, no, I was just going to say it's very fitting to see a Ferrari on the front row. Nice to see that paint scheme up there. You can't tell I'm a Ferrari fan, so, and they're doing well this season in Formula 1. So.
Yeah, didn't Formula 1 have an issue here a couple of years ago with the tires? And
oh, yeah.
There was a big thing.
So, really quickly what we're talking about, in 2005, because this track was pretty much created only for the purpose of holding the U.S. round for the Formula 1 season. And in 2005, there's a bit of a controversy because they ran two different tire compounds, Bridgestone and Michelin. So the Michelin teams were having trouble going around that final last corner because it is really fast, and you can imagine it puts a lot of load on the tires. And after a few laps, their tires would just pretty much go flat and explode. Cars would go spinning. And so what happened is all the Michelin teams pretty much decided to not start. Well, they started the race. They kind of started the race, did the formation lap, and pulled straight into the pits. And only 6 cars gridded for that Grand Prix.
An awkward moment for sure for Formula 1, but this evening here on iRacing's tire, it's got some issues, but I think everyone's on an equal performance set this evening.
I would be shocked if nearly everyone pulled off the grid.
They're gonna redo it, and they're gonna redo that Grand Prix. It's gonna be fine. And another thing here, rolling start. The Grand Prix, or the F1's version of the Grand Prix was a standing start, and that was kind of hilarious to watch, especially when they got it wrong, which happened a lot. They'd have cars running into each other on the start. It's never something you want to see. But this evening will be rolling start, and we're going to have to watch these cars fan out heading into turn 1. And there's going to be a lot of them. You see the 41 of Danny Roberts, again, leading that field through the oval corners, those big, lightly banked turn 1 here at the Indianapolis Oval, and we're going to go there in a couple weeks for the Indy 500, but for now it's the Grand Prix of Indianapolis, and we're green. Danny Roberts is going to move over to the left and block a charging 62 of Stephen Larkamp, but Larkamp's going to have to give that spot up for now as we head down into turn 1. Hopefully everyone can make it through here okay. So far, so good. Side by side there with Tanner Watkins and Jackson Robillard. Watkins is going to move up a spot. I think everybody got through there all right, so we're off and running here. 41 laps. And there's Tanner Watkins in that blue number 11.
Yeah, great start by him finding a way to get position early on.
There's the 62 of Stephen Larkamp trying to reel back in the 41 after that initial jump on the start.
Yeah, I actually caught a bit of a distance that Roberts game in the first part of the track, so I'm wondering if you're going to see these guys have a advantage of different parts of the track. And also one thing to notice here is the draft's also huge with this gigantic front straightaway. As you can see, Larkamp catching up.
So Stephen Larkamp going to use the slipstream to his advantage. You see that gap closing 0.2 of a second. 1.5 of a second, and he's going to look to the outside, and Roberts is going to go a little bit defensive, maintain that inside lane, but here comes Zach Buchanan in the 40 car. Name not showing up on the ticker. We might have to restart our timing to get that to show up, but we'll work on that in the time being. Just know the number 40 is Zach Buchanan, and the number 20 did not grid, so we don't have to worry about that one too much. That is Kevin Anders. So watching Johnny Eckert here in the 90 close in on the rear wing of the 40 of Buchanan. And in that mix, here comes Tanner Watkins already moving up a couple spots, and he is looking to attack that number 90 of Johnny Eckert, who was quick in qualifying, but went for a couple slides. Out up front, Roberts has pulled away to a 0.7 of a second lead. We're watching the battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th. And Jackson Robillard of the 98 looking racy behind Watkins as well. We work our way around for lap 2. We're going to complete 2 laps, and we are going to have about 39 of them remaining. And you see, wow, a lot of weaving down the front straightaway there. You're allowed 1 move, but you can't make 2. So Danny Roberts looking out from the rear wing. That's a great shot there. Larkamp on the attack. And this front group of 5 or 6 cars is very, very tight.
Yeah, the draft kind of unites all of them together. They're all going to tow on one another. So these entire top 6 guys have separated from Tim Sillen, who's gone bit behind these guys. He's going to need to catch up if he wants to join into the action, and then it's nearly a 3.5 second gap to Justin Nichols.
Yeah, Justin Nichols in that 24, just back a little ways from this a big separation there, but that group up front been in really, really tight battle for the time being. That second place battle raging on. And for the lead, here comes Stephen Larkamp. He is closing in. That gap has actually come down a little bit from the 0.7 it was last time by. It's now about a 0.5 second. And last time by, they were about equal with lap times. Put Roberts the advantage of about 0.04 of a second. But now, Larkamp's going to be close enough to make a move here. As we head onto the Indianapolis Oval Turn 1, Larkamp's going to have a run. Can he do anything with it? Yes, he is. He's going to look to the outside of the 41 of Roberts. Down the front straightaway, even at the line. And they're going to go side by side into Turn 1. Larkamp around the outside, and Roberts going to have to give it up. But here he comes up, can't quite do a contact. The 41's going to go around. Into the gravel trap goes, and there's a yellow. Caution is out. So the 41 is going to be able to maintain that 7th spot, but a little bit of argy-bargy there in the early going, but when you go side by side into the corner, you see, wow, running off wide again here.
Yeah, I think he's really suffering. As you can see in the front part of his car, he is missing half of his wing.
Yeah, pretty heavily damaged there.
Yeah, so he's definitely going to suffer trying to get back around. But meanwhile, let's see if we can catch a replay of what just happened.
So watching the 41, and he's going to get contact here from I believe that was the 40 of Buchanan. Yes, it was. And Buchanan's going to have some damage from that as well.
Yeah, it kind of flashed on our screen, but I definitely think that was a pretty heavy hit that he had.
It definitely looked like it. So we're going to head back live. And we see Danny Roberts Definitely struggling with the handling of that machine now. He's got some pretty significant damage. So we're under yellow here at the Indianapolis Road Course on lap 5. And so Steven Larkamp is the current leader. He's going to go catch the pace car. Move Zach Buchanan in the 40 up to second place. And I think I don't think that was really just a racing incident there. Nothing too bad there. There's two guys going for the same area on the racetrack. While they're doing this, Finian, let's head to commercial real quick. I'm gonna try to see if we can restart the timing and get the 40 car on screen. So we'll be right back. We're just gonna restart the timing, see if we can get Buchanan to show up on the ticket. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. That was a little bit of a unfortunate error there with iRacing when we pulled off. We're going to lose our iRacing feed when we cut out. So we restarted our timing. We got let's see, we got Roberts, or not Roberts. Who was the issue there? Zach Buchanan in the 40. He is now on our ticker, so Zach should be happy now. We're going to have to splice the stream in two when we go back in post here. So apologies for that. Apologies for my language, too. I didn't know the mic was running, so I'll mute that out in post. Well, we're all fixed now, ready to go back racing here. Didn't miss anything on track, just a couple pit stops. Moved Danny Roberts to 16th, but got that nose replaced. So he should be in pretty good shape. Steven Larkamp took that lead. Tanner Watkins going to inherit second place. And Jackson Robillard in the 98 going to inherit third.
Yeah, and Zach Buchanan, who was also involved in that, he also came into the pit, so he's now back in 12th. So definitely a strong showing by Steven Larkamp in the Steven Larkamp in the 62 in the front. He took a commanding. He showed Roberts that he had pace, and he definitely took it. But what I'm really wondering about is how much pace does Tanner Watkins have?
Yeah, let's see Tanner Watkins. That first week at Homestead, he was a real threat. And last week at Motegi, up there, but not really quite vying for the lead like he was at Homestead. Now he's back here looking in second place. We're going to restart on lap 7. All right, once again, I'm just going to apologize for this split in the stream, but in post we will splice that back together. You'll never know it even happened. So post-race, this stream, the video will not be accessible. It's just for a little while until I get that all fixed up. But it'll be back up as soon as possible. And hopefully, I don't even know if I will have to. Sometimes if you stop and start too close together, it'll actually put them together for you. So I'm hoping that'll happen. Oh, apparently it never changed for the live watchers. That is good. Thank you, Deacon Allen, for telling us. All right, so we're just going to hope everything's fine. We'll all remember that later as we go back green here. Steven Larkamp's going to lead them down. Look at all those cars spanning out 4 wide in the back. Cody Wenzen's in the middle of all that somehow. We're going to be right on board for a second there. We're going to head back down into turn 1. Roberts is behind all this, but you see Poker Key in that bright yellow Menard 77. Oh, a little bit sideways. Did he spin out? I think he lost it, Finian. The 77's gone around. Just went for a loop.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for him because he was running 6th at the time, so he's going to lose all that position and try to have to catch back up. He's now currently in 20th.
Spinning out on a restart is never fun because you have to grab all those spots back, which is never cool. But no damage. You see another vehicle that's Titan Bommersbach off track there in the 37. They'll get it back in the right direction.
But meanwhile, here's the leader, Steven Larkamp. He's gone out to a huge lead.
3-second lead over Jackson Robillard. Now, Tanner Watkins has slipped to 4th on the restart, but moved Justin Nichols If we could pull up Justin Nichols' graphic there, Finney, and I think he started back, started in 11th, so all the way up to 3rd with a little bit of pit strategy working out for him so far, and has moved his way up. But again, we have to keep an eye on the whole pit situation there, Finney. You see cars jostling there. I think the 41's in the middle of it all. You have to watch out for the pit strategy because there's only allowed to carry 11 gallons of fuel, and that's not a whole lot for these Indy cars. You see Roberts headed the inside of Johnny Eckert and Tim Silliman.
Nice double overtake by Danny Roberts there.
Oh, and don't look now, but behind them, Zach Buchanan, the 40, is closing in on this battle, and be interested to see how these guys work together here and see if all the love is lost or not between that group of cars. See Eckert and Wenzen battling behind 41. Johnny Eckert driving the Lufthansa Achievement Hunter, 5-Hour Energy, NASA, Ford for Outlaw Racing, all the sponsors. Give all those guys a shout out. Behind him, the 40 is going to overtake the 67, so Buchanan is going to go around Wenzen. And now there's only one car separating Buchanan and Roberts. And there's Tim Silliman, who got one off track. I think it's Chris Gutierrez in the 2. He's going to go for a slide.
Yeah, it's a really tricky place to try to hit that corner. If you miss it here, you're definitely going to go off the track.
And maybe we can go back and see what happened to Gutierrez there. I didn't quite see. We'll get a good look. There's Chris Gutierrez, maybe right on. Well, just maybe slammed on the brakes a little bit too much, had too much rear brake in it, and sent it for a loop. So Gutierrez is going to slip back a couple spots. Meanwhile, up front, nothing else has changed. Jackson Robillard following Larkamp by 3.05 seconds. Tanner Watkins has passed Justin Nichols for 3rd, and Aaron Bean in the 21 is in 5th.
Yeah, great job by him today. He's moved up from 12th place. So definitely got some position, although I think he might have some damage to the right side of his wing. Oh no, it's probably just the paint scheme. Never mind.
It looks okay to me, so it looks like he's in pretty good shape. And look who's coming behind him, that bright red Ferrari of Danny Roberts. And he is charging from that restart position, but look who's behind him again, Zach Buchanan. And if that was Zach, it was obviously a racing incident, but you have to be a little careful when you're around a guy that you just took out.
Yeah, if I was him, I'd probably just stay behind Roberts. No reason to try to pass again to make things sour.
I'm not trying to place any blame on Buchanan or anything, but when you come together and the rear car has the nose in there, it's all about perception of who thinks who was at fault. And Roberts going to head to pit road? Maybe a strategy call here.
I would imagine it's a strategy call. I can't see why he would otherwise come. Interesting.
So Roberts heading down pit road. And Larkamp's lead has kind of stayed put, so Jackson Robillard maintaining that gap. Meanwhile, Buchanan's closing in on the 90 of Johnny Eckert, and that would be for 6th place if he can get there. Let's ride on board with the Sparkle hands cam for a little bit there, Finian, and this is a great shot. You see the hands working here as we work through the tight road course section. Up and over the curbs and over the exit curb here. That long back straightaway that leads into a very sharp left-hand corner, and see what he can do on the brakes. He's running last time by about 0.7 of a second faster than Johnny Eckert in that 90 machine up in front of him. You can see Eckert plastered on that rear wing.
Yeah, we're going to definitely see him try to take advantage of the draft here and make the overtake.
175, 180 just about, and that speed is going to climb. We'll stay on board with him down the front straightaway as his speed continues to climb. 185, 186. I think that's where 187, and that's where it's going to peak out with all that downforce that he's probably running here. Meanwhile, Aaron Bean is about to fall into the clutches of this approaching group of 3 cars, including Justin Nichols in the 24, Johnny Eckert, and Zach Buchanan. Nichols is in that Heisingfeld Honda. And Johnny Eckert in that Lufthansa machine.
Yeah, and Zach Buchanan.
Oh! Johnny Eckert's going to spin. Tim Silliman does a great job of avoiding that. And Eckert's going to back it up out of the racing line and wait for a clean spot to get back in, and he will, but here comes Nick Stoller in the 4 around him.
Yeah, good job on Eckert trying to get back on the track safely.
Yep.
But I was just going to say that Buchanan was just about to make the pass, and he made an attempt, and he definitely got it there.
Yeah, so a little bit of a mistake there for the 90, but Buchanan's going to move up to 6th. And let's see where the 41 Roberts is. 17th on the charts right now, but on a different pit strategy, cycled out. And Justin Rector also haven't really seen much out of him this evening, unfortunately. Still running around in 22nd, still on the lead lap, but in 22nd. So that race not going as well as he would like so far. Meanwhile, Justin Nichols closing in on Aaron Bean for the 4th spot, and this battle is going to get tighter and tighter as Zach Buchanan's closing in, running 2/10 faster than both of them.
Yeah, these guys are just closing in on each other. Can't seem to make the pass work, so they're gonna keep going at each other. I'm just looking at the times here. 24 Nichols was a little off that last time by, as Zach Buchanan makes a pass on the inside.
Just notice now that we are not receiving any desktop audio again. We've been fighting this issue all week, so we're gonna have to just deal with it for now. But I'm losing my mind over OBS this week. Don't know what is going on. So we'll try to get that fixed at some point this evening when we get another caution or something. Apologies for that. But this battle again, raging on. And Nichols and Buchanan nose to tail down the front straightaway now.
And Buchanan was trying to look to make the pass in turn 1, just was too far back, and he didn't want to make the lunge on what I believe is his teammate. I'm guessing by the identical paint schemes.
Yeah, those are team cars there, Buchanan and Nichols. For the Corda Sim Racing team. Orange, blue, and white. Kind of a slick color combination there. Up front, you're not missing a thing while we're watching this battle. Stephen Larkamp up 5 seconds. This battle for, it's going to be being for 4th place, is the tightest battle on the racetrack at this time. Tanner Watkins maintaining in 3rd, but see Buchanan closing in here on the team machine, the 24 of Nichols. Oh, we got one off track. Can't exactly tell who it is. It's not exactly sure who that was off track there. But we had a car disabled and probably resetting. Chris Badorf in the 25. Yep, that might have been him. Oh, he's actually he's just spun out now. That's not him. So Badorf going to lose a couple spots there with another spin, but we're going to stay green. Aaron Bean still defending that 4th spot from Justin Nichols and Zach Buchanan, but those guys are closing. And last time by, Zach Buchanan was right on par, but Nichols was 2/10 quicker. And that gap is closing ever more as this group approaches.
Yeah, I've been noticing that from Nichols. He just can't find the gap to put the car in. He's gotten close every single time, but just kind of can't seem to find the place for the car. So let's see if he can keep going at it. But I feel like these guys are losing a lot of time to Tanner Watkins up front. Oh, and we see Aaron Bean coming in for a pit stop.
Probably a smart move here. He knew those cars were approaching, and he's going to try to. Whoa! A little slide on the entry there, and here comes Tim Silliman down pit road behind him. But that's probably a strategy move now that you got a group of approaching cars. So they're going to work their way down the pit lane. So Silliman's going to come in for their first stop of the evening. And out comes Aaron Bean, who's going to take over 12th spot. And Kyton Bommersbach is going to be just in front of him in 11th. Tyler Tucker also jumping into the mix for the first time. Very competitive at Motegi last week. That's the first really noise we've seen out of him.
And Danny Roberts has just been quietly driving along in the back of the pack. I'm really
behind him. No, there was a couple spots behind Tucker. It was a red machine, but that's all right. Went a little wide there on exit, but I think everybody's all right. Meanwhile, Danny Roberts closing in on the 77 Poker Key.
Yeah, so I'm really curious as to what strategy he's on, or if he just decided to pit then and there. But if he did time this right, he could be on a great strategy. Here's Kyle Pilkerfeed coming in. I believe from the looks of it, he should be one of the final drivers to come in for a pit stop. He went about 15 laps, so that seems to be about the pit stop window for these guys.
We're now working lap 16 of 41. There's Zach Buchanan, who has inherited the lead. Larkamp has jumped down pit road and has made his pit stop. So Buchanan and Eckert, 1 and 2, followed by Chris Gutierrez in the 2 from last week, who had a pretty interesting race and ended up running, had a pretty good solid run. They received a car off pace just a little bit, as we see Roberts working his way around. So kind of the strategy cycling out here.
And Larkamp and Roberts can resume their battle from earlier on in the race. So we got a draft fest down the front stretch. Danny Roberts will get around Gutierrez for fourth place.
So differing strategies here between Larkamp and Roberts, but Roberts has kind of launched himself back into this battle. These guys were leading the race earlier when Roberts was spun out and causing that first yellow. So this battle is kind of resumed, although we expect to see Roberts coming in the next 5 to 6 laps because he's going to be out of fuel soon as well. Let's ride on board with the 41 of Roberts for a lap. I'm going to try to see if we can get our audio fixed here. I'm not really sure how much I can do. But it's been giving us trouble all week. We're going to try to get this resolved as soon as we can. And I don't think we're going to have any luck with it, unfortunately, without restarting OBS again. Don't know what's going on. There was a Windows update that said it was resetting a lot of capture devices this week, and I believe I had that update a couple days ago, and worked okay in the 3-wide broadcast last night and been struggling.
And as we were working through that, Roberts got around Stephen Larkamp for third place now, so we're definitely seeing that he might have more pace than Larkamp.
Whee! Chugga chugga. Okay. Thanks, Deacon Allen, for the suggestion. Okay, I'm not going to annoy everybody with that, but yeah, we're going to get that fixed as soon as we can. So we have to get it fixed for the interviews though, because the interviews come through desktop audio as well. So we're going to have to figure it out in the meantime. We're going to have to do a little bit of post-processing stitching this week for this broadcast. Meanwhile, battle has been excellent with Roberts and Larkamp, so Roberts can take over that spot, and they got about a 26-second gap to catch the 90 of Eckert.
Yeah, I definitely think that. Actually, no, that's the gap to Buchanan. Eckert's right in front of him.
Oh, thank you. Looking at the timing screen, not at the actual iRacing output here, that would help. So Buchanan again playing a little bit different strategy, and pit earlier to fix that damage. So I think Buchanan. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Finian, but is Buchanan on the same strategy as the 41 of Roberts?
I don't think so. I believe he's on a different stint. He seems to have.
Well, we're looking at it right now, and they're only about 3 laps apart.
So yeah, they might be. They're kind of on similar strategies, I guess. I thought there was completely different, considering the lead that Buchanan has.
Yeah. So after all that, I mean, Buchanan played that pretty well, though. I mean, was behind Roberts when that incident happened, and it's not time to leapfrog them, but it only took him 20 laps to get there. We're almost halfway done with this race already. And we are 26 minutes in, so if we keep at this pace, we will definitely finish under that 55-minute time cap.
And as we were talking about pit stops, here they come.
Robert comes down pit road, and That's Johnny Ecker, the 90, going to follow him down, or lead him down, rather.
And it seems also Zach Buchanan came up in road as well, so he's going to jump back out ahead of Tanner Watkins.
Battle up front has been kind of the usual faces, actually, from the oval side of things. These guys here today, Stephen Larkamp, Jackson Robillard, Zach Buchanan, Tanner Watkins, all guys that we normally expect to see up front at the ovals, as well as Danny Roberts and Eckert. They've been playing a little bit of pit strategy off sequence for most of the rest of the field. But the same names up front, which is a little bit surprising, to be honest. Usually you have a couple guys that are very specialized in the road side of things, but not so this week. It's been all about the same guys. And that's looking really good for their championship hopes. And speaking of championships, I actually have the point standings there on Q if you want to pull those up. And there's your top 26 in your point standings, but Danny Roberts leading him, Stephen Larkamp behind him. So as they run, this will be a really good day for Larkamp, but he's got to keep Roberts mired down in the standings. So that's just an update for you on that. And Larkamp in that 62, continuing to lead. And kind of kept his nose clean for most of the day and having a pretty controlled race so far. Nothing crazy. Started out second, overtook Roberts on the outside heading into turn 1 on lap 4. And that's when all that carnage happened and brought out our first yellow. But ever since then, we've been kind of running away with it.
Yeah, definitely. When it comes to these on cars that are heavily reliant on aero, as soon as you damage your car, you're gonna lose a lot of grip and a lot of downforce. As we saw, Roberts was just struggling to get going at pace speed. So definitely the key is keep your car as clean as possible. You don't want to damage any aero bit on the car.
The downforce maybe not incredibly important here. It's not necessarily like a Barber Motorsports Park that would require a little bit more, but there definitely is some here, not necessarily in these slow sections, but in the quicker sections that we just went through. A little bit of downforce can certainly be helpful, and you keep that car rotating around its vertical axis there as it encounters these corners. So Larkamp, again, continuing to lead. Jackson Robillard in the 98, a couple seconds behind in second. And Zach Buchanan following in third, working his way onto Indianapolis Oval, turn number 1. Tanner Watkins, Aaron Bean, Justin Nichols rounds out your top 6 with Tim Silliman, Nick Stoller, Johnny Eckert, and Danny Roberts finishing out your top 10. Other stories here, Justin Rector, John Wilco, Travis McQuish, God dang it, that name. I'm going to try that again. McQuisition.
I would say
I'm trying, folks. Let me check the... Keep talking. I'm going to check the guide here, see if that's on there.
All right, so really the big mystery, I think, is what has Roberts got up his sleeve? Because that was a really weird instance of him just pitting earlier on. So a few guys on different strategies. It seems Buchanan, Roberts, and Ecker are all on the same strategy. So, and Rollard and Larkamp and Bean are also on the same strategy. Oh, add Tanner Watkins into the mix. So, 2 different strategies here at play.
Not on the name guide, so we're just going to go Travis M. It's going to be down 12 laps in the number 93, so not a great race for him. Meanwhile, Justin Rector also 3 laps down. Wayne Taylor, Brian Mullen, Tyler Dolger, Chris Badorf, Chris Gutierrez, and Gail Brooks all 1 lap down, but different strategies here playing out, so we're going to see where everyone ends up. So 23 laps into this one. And we got a full course yellow on the racetrack, and I don't know exactly why this one was thrown.
Oh, I saw a car in the grass there. I don't know who it is.
Maybe check the track map. That might be a good place to start. But didn't exactly see. Would it have been a 03?
Maybe we can find out.
Oh, it was the 03. That's Justin Rector. Spun out in turn 1 and parked in the grass there, and I imagine that is what caused our second caution this evening. All right, I'm not really sure if I want to shut the stream down again to try for the audio. What do you think, Finian?
I mean, might as well.
All right, we'll give it a shot. So we're going to take this caution period. Those watching live, you're going to notice the stream go down for a minute here. We're going to try to get this audio thing sorted out because we kind of need it for the post-race interviews. So bear with us. And Rector, again, going to spin out. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. Bear with us. We'll splice this all together in post to get it set up for YouTube after, but we'll be back in just a few. Okay, no such luck. Unfortunately, I think we're going to have to not be able to give interviews this week, dealing with this OBS Windows desktop audio issue. Again, I looked into it, and earlier this week there was that Windows update pushed out and messed up a lot of audio devices for a lot of people. They had to reset it in iRacing, in OBS for Twitch and YouTube and all sorts of other things. So unfortunately, things don't always go as planned, and this is one of those nights. But we will get it fixed. We apologize for this week. We're going to try to get a word after, and maybe we'll try one more time after the race and see if we can get it working. But again, not great circumstances for us this week. So apologize to those watching. You can't hear the car audio, but next week that'll be fixed. Actually, we're going to be off for these guys next week. But for the next broadcast, I think we have Scars next week. So I will be spending the rest of my week trying to get this figured out so that this doesn't happen again. Just one of those Windows things, but as we see Steven Larkamp here in the lead, not really a whole lot of strategy got played here, so we're going back green. And the front 5 or 6, are all on old tires and low on fuel, presumably. You see Roberts going 4 wide down the front straightaway to the inside of Tim Silliman. Going to make that move 3 wide. Still beside Silliman, and 3 wide again. Oh, got to watch that left rear corner there, but they make it through okay. Roberts just made a huge advancement up through the field. They're 4 wide behind them. Titan Bommersbach is side by side with the 90 of Eckert.
Yeah, Roberts doesn't want to waste any time. This is the closest that he's been to the lead.
There was a battle behind this group, and there's still a battle going on there. That's Titan Bommersbach in the 37, passing Nick Stoller in the 4. And again, positions being made here. I believe that's Chris Badorf that's down a lap. That was heating a couple of those spots. But Stoller being chased by the 67 of Cody Wenzen. And we've got about 17 minutes remaining in the race if we stay green, which with the 2 yellows so far, I imagine we're probably done with the whole crashing thing, but you never know. Once these cars get strung out, it gets a little bit harder to wreck. But we're on board now with Zach Buchanan in the 40. Following closely behind, a little bit off track there, closely behind the 98 of Jackson Robillard, and Steven Larkamp still in view.
So the teammates second and third. And Danny Roberts is also just lurking back there. He is one of the fastest cars.
Oh, we got Roberts is around 41. That's again. Oh, that was really close. But Roberts is going to manage to get out of the way just in time to avoid clobbering the 77 of Cal Prokofsky. Got another one around. Who's that? That's the 25 of Chris Badorf spun out. He's already a lap down. But a lot of carnage happening on the racetrack, and surprised we didn't get a yellow for that one, but Roberts got out of the way pretty quick.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be unfortunate for him.
Oh, we got another one. Cody Wenzen and the 4 of Nick Stoller is around. Let's get a replay of that. There might have been some car-to-car contact in that one. But yeah, lots of spinning happening at the moment. So Cody Wenzen, who is battling with another driver up there. That would be the 37 of Titan Bommersbach, but nothing there. Just
here's the corner and happened.
Oh, Cody just lost it, and then the 4 lost it trying to avoid him, and Roberts narrowly misses that accident there as well. So a lot of late race carnage here as we see a couple drivers losing it. Nick Stoller, Cody Wenzen, Danny Roberts all kind of clumped 11th through 14th as they've spun out and given up most of their spots. And you have to feel for Roberts losing all those spots after climbing all the way up to 6th. And he's going to have to pass all those cars all over again. Still got a lot of racing left to do. 14 laps. So still got some time to get up there. But with Larkamp solidly in control of this race, Roberts is going to have to pull off either some excellent strategy or somewhat of a miracle to get himself all the way back up there.
Yeah, I would say his time's kind of up to try to get back up there, but he can definitely try to pass some of these guys. Here we have Aaron Bean. We haven't seen much of him after the start of the race. He's kind of fallen back into 9th place. And Kaidens Bommerbach in 10th place.
Oh, I hear another car spinning, and that's Zach Buchanan in the 40. Zach Buchanan in the 40 car has gone around again, and I can't really see if he has any damage. Doesn't really look like it. Maybe just got a little in there a little too hot under brakes. That's that Cordis Sim Racing car going around. So a lot of our big names kind of taking some slides.
I think all these guys are driving really hard, trying to catch the guy in front of them, and then just the car just breaks loose from you.
So Buchanan goes for a spin, and he's going to loop it, but he's only going to lose 3 spots, or 2 or 3 spots, head back to 5th place. And you got a battle behind them, behind the 77 Poker Key. That's the 21 of Aaron Bean. Oh, and here comes Justin Nichols and Johnny Eckert. Eckert's going to get around him, but behind them, Aaron Bean and was it there? There's a 37 of Bommersbach, and here comes Roberts flying back up through the field. And I think if Roberts could just keep the car going straight and keep other cars from underneath his rear tires, he might be a serious contender. But these setbacks, you can only overcome so many setbacks from strategy. And I don't think that unless he's got something really fancy planned up his sleeve, he's going to be able to make up for that. But here he goes around Aaron Bean for 6th place. So he's kind of back to where he was when he spun. He's going to drive in deep into turn 1, respect the curb on the entry, and move himself back into 6th. So pretty quick recovery, considering.
Yeah, let's see if he can try to get even more spots as Kyle Poker Keys just ahead of him in 5th place. Oh, we got some guys on pit stops. Ooh, side by side, Tim Stillman.
And Justin Nichols in the 24.
Yeah, so these guys might be trying to... Oh, I think, yeah, these guys have to make one more pit stop. So I think these guys just got their pit stops out of the way. So interesting strategy by these guys. So we'll see where Tim Stillman and Justin Nichols end up at the end of this. All right, and we're riding on board. Nothing much happening. Ooh, actually, there is something happening. Some guys coming down pit road, so everyone's trying to get their final pit stop out of the way. This should be the final stop for all these guys coming down pit road.
Yeah, it should be able to make it easily. We're going to be, what is this, 11 laps to go this time by. And that's your leader, Steven Larkamp, on pit road. And this is the first time he'll have given up the lead since the early going, since lap 5 or 6. Johnny Eckert is going to inherit the lead. And here comes Danny Roberts again on that alternate strategy. And this is going to get interesting to see if Roberts can we check and see what stint Roberts, or how many laps he's been going for? Yeah, he's going to have to come to pit road soon. So that any strategy he was planning on playing is going to be a little bit out of whack here. He's going to have to give up that track position. On board the left front suspension in 37 of Kyten Bommersbach, running 4th right now. See that speed climbing. Interested to see where Kyten's top speed is. We were looking earlier with one of the other cars that topped out at about 187, I think. And now down the front straightaway without much of a slipstream, we'll be doing 184. And that's about where Bommersbach is going to peak and head down into turn 1. Whoop, and a little bit of... There he is. A little bit of internet disconnect there for the 37 Bommersbach. Meanwhile, Roberts going to be running out of laps to run on that fuel tank, and he's going to have to come in soon to service that 41 Ferrari.
Yeah, so I gotta wonder that Roberts is probably going to come in at sometime soon.
Let's see where Tyler Tucker's stint is and see how he's been running. So he's got 7 laps in his stint. So if you could make it 17 laps, it might be a little... And that's actually the strategy that Johnny Eckert's on, too. But, I mean, that seems like a long way to go with 11 gallons of fuel.
Yeah, the only thing I can imagine is that these guys are trying to at least go, maybe hope for a late race caution to try to spice things up. But, yeah.
Well, actually, earlier in the race, we saw cars going 16 laps before they pit. So if you conserve a little bit of fuel, you could probably make this work. And I think that's what Danny Roberts is going to do. But remember, Roberts got burned by fuel strategy at Homestead. I had to pit with a couple laps ago. And one of the drivers that came out on top of that was Justin Rector in the 0-3, but Rector having a not so great day in 20th, 4 laps down.
And it seems that Clayton Bommersbach I think he's disconnected. He's been grayed out for quite a while.
I think the internet finally gave up on Titan Bommersbach, so that's unfortunate. Hardware issues never fun, as we're experiencing here tonight, so we understand that. Trust me, I'm losing my mind over here. But thankfully, Will Roberts in charge of the International Sim Drivers Club, very understanding. So hopefully I won't get yelled at too much for this, but there's only so much you can do with Windows and OBS being stupid sometimes. So we're watching the battle and trying to commentate best we can to keep the audio track filled up and entertaining. See Johnny Eckert 3.4 seconds back from Danny Roberts. Did those guys swap spots?
Yeah, I was sitting here debating that too. I think Eckert might have made a mistake at some point and let Roberts get ahead.
Or focus on other things and kind of missed that. So don't know where it happened to Johnny Eckert, but that hands the lead to Danny Roberts. And those guys are on similar strategies. So I'm interested to see if they can make this work. I think that you can save a lap of fuel here at the Indy Road Course, and you have a pretty substantial lead now. Cody Wenzen in the 67 is 13.5 seconds back.
Yeah, I definitely think that Danny Roberts is going to have to come into pit.
Whoa, I heard someone going around. Who is that there?
I can't tell from the paint scheme. I'm not sure who just spun out there.
Yeah, Tyler Tucker falling down the order here, though, in the 55. Oh, he must have gone to pit road to get his service. And Kyle Pokerfe's going to take over 7th in the number 77 Menards machine as we are rounding down 8 laps to go now. And Danny Roberts still maintaining a 3.5 second lead over Johnny Eckert in the 90. And the lead over Cody Wenzen is actually extended to 17 seconds. So Roberts has a little bit of time to play with if he wants to save some fuel. I'm not really sure if he can make that work. But I guess we'll find out when we get to the last lap. I think that's where it's going to come down to. As we see Tucker trying to reel back in Pokerfe. That's that beautiful royal purple livery. I love that paint scheme. Yeah, purple and yellow goes really well together.
Definitely.
The leader just took 7 to go. Here comes Danny Roberts on pit lane. I think that wasn't going to happen.
And so is Johnny Eckert.
And so Cody Wenzen's going to inherit the lead. Steven Larkamp's going to take over 2nd, and he's right here. So this is the battle for your lead. 0.3 of a second. And wow, Cody Wenzen's internet also not having a very good time.
You can see Larkamp trying to see if he can find his way around Wenzen.
And those guys on very different strategies, and actually I kind of think Wenzen's going to have to pit on lap 10 of the stint. So Wenzen is on the same strategy that Roberts was on, and I'm not just sure if he's trying to make it work or if he doesn't know it, that he's going to run out of fuel. I think Roberts knew, and he's going to give up that lead, and Roberts came and got that came back out in 6th. So not terrible, even though he had to pit. Meanwhile, Tim Silliman up to 4th, great run for them, and Jackson Robillard in the 98 was great in practice, pretty good in qualifying, and has kind of held on to a pretty decent spot in P3. And here comes the pass to the lead. I think Wenzen's going to have to give this up to Larkamp, and Larkamp is going to have a huge lead over the 3rd place machine of Jackson Robillard. And I think Wenzen's just going to start falling back. If he's going to have to start conserving fuel, he's going to have to start giving up speed on throttle. Down the front straightaway, and here comes Danny Roberts trying to pass Johnny Eckert, but Johnny's going to go to the inside and go defensive. Meanwhile, behind them, Tyler Tucker is side by side with Kyle Pokerfe, and he's going to take that spot away from the 77 and move himself up into P7. And Johnny Eckert now trying to defend again from Danny Roberts, and Roberts has been on the charge several times this evening. Lots of frustration, perhaps, in the 41 camp this evening as he's lost his track position 2 or 3 times now. The first one, no fault of his own. And the second time, didn't really see what happened to him the second time, but he just looped it.
Yeah, it's going to be frustrating as a driver knowing that you can come through the field like you can.
Oh, and there he goes again. We just jinxed him. There's the SimTV jinx. And he's going to lose 2 or 3 spots in that one and come out in 9th. Oh, I got to watch that. That's Aaron Bean in the 21. But Roberts just not having the luck he needs. He's got the pace. Definitely has got the pace. He's actually only 0.2 off the best time of the leader right now. Stephen Larkamp ran a 1:10.534, and that is the quickest time. So Roberts is actually the second quickest car on the track by time. Just hasn't been able to keep it going in the right direction for most of this time. So 5 laps to go. Larkamp's got a 4-second lead over Cody Wenzen, who's trying to save fuel to get to the end. Jackson Robillard is 8 seconds back from the lead. And we got Aaron Bean going for a spin on the front straight. And I don't think the yellow's going to come out. It's too late in the race for that, and he's going to be stuck.
Ooh, that is a dangerous place.
I think he's out of the way enough, and he's going to lose a couple spots, but he's out of the way enough. So you can get a replay of what happened there. I'm not sure if there was any car-to-car contact or not.
Looking on board with Aaron Bean.
Oh, contact from the 40. That was aggressive. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. I'm sure there will be some differing opinions on exactly what happened there. But contact between the 41 and the 21 is going to send the 21 back down to 11th. And that's probably, there's some frustration in Danny Roberts' machine right now, and he's had a bad day. But also Aaron Bean running a little bit better than what he is now, taken out in that conflict.
I wonder if I've also noticed is kind of back there is Tanner Watkins too. He's had some
pretty heavy left front damage on that wing, and that's going to be severely lacking in downforce. We didn't quite see what happened to him there, but running in the top 5 for most of this race.
Yeah, I was wondering why he wasn't 10th place. I think the damaged wing might have something to do with it. And he's been significantly off the pace, running a 1:15 compared to most of these guys running much faster laps. So that's the story with him.
So, yeah, Watkins didn't have a ton of luck last week in Motegi. Not a bad finish, but definitely his best performance so far was that of Homestead in our first round. So still early in the season here, got a lot of time to make up for mistakes, and this is really, our first road course. So if you don't have a lot of experience running on the road courses, you're going to have a hard time here today. So there's Tim Stillman in the 39 having a great day. Running in that P4 spot. We're 3 laps to go now, and that lead extending more with Larkamp. And Cody Wenzen, I think he's going to try to make it at this point. I mean, if you've committed here, I think you're going to have to make it work.
Say props to him, but he is under attack from Jackson Robillard right behind him in third. You see Cody Wenzen on board. We're trying to see where Jackson Robillard's going to try to catch him. I definitely think that Robillard's got the faster car, but it's just a matter of where he's actually going to end up making the pass.
So Robillard trying to close in on Cody Wenzen. And we are running out of laps, and one of the drivers that is a little bit upset by that is the 41 of Roberts, and there goes Cody Wenzen. He's going to have to give it up. And I can't remember if he was one of the guys that benefited from the late race fuel strategy at Homestead, but I feel like I've seen this move before.
Yeah, he was trying to make it go at Homestead, ran out with on the last lap.
So Wenzen down on pit road. And Tim Silliman's going to take over P3, but here comes Johnny Eckert in the 90, who had a spin earlier in the race and has kind of recovered nicely. Actually, this track has claimed a lot of lives this evening. Chris Gutierrez went around. Chris Badorf has had some trouble. Justin Rector. Titan Bommersbach had an internet issue. Johnny Roberts, as we've said before, Danny Roberts. Johnny Eckert spun out. So, again, a lot of drivers having trouble here this evening. And this is going to be the battle for P3. This is going to be for podium with 2 laps to go.
You can see Eckert navigating the S's here. Just trying to get in close to Silman. He's been getting closer and closer. Last time by, they were actually just about equal on lap time, so they're going to have a battle.
Meanwhile, the leader has taken the white flag. That's Stephen Larkamp in the 62. And he has just absolutely dominated this race. And not a scratch on that IndyCar, which cannot be said about a lot of other drivers here this evening. And side by side for third, Johnny Eckert trying to get around Tim Silliman. And we got to watch this battle because this is going to get heated. Who's going to dive deeper on the brakes? And it's going to be the 90 of Eckert, and Tim Silliman's going to give it up.
Yeah, it was a great pass by. No, sorry, that wasn't a pass.
Yeah, it was. Eckert got around the 39 of Silliman.
Sorry, my my apologies, but yeah, I was surprised that Eckert, I was so surprised that I didn't realize he did it. That Eckert was able to make the move on the outside. Typically, we see guys go on the inside in turn one.
Yeah, the only other move I've seen from the outside that has worked was actually when Stephen Larkamp passed Roberts for the lead on that initial start on lap 3 or 4, I believe it was, when that yellow came out, when Roberts got tangled up with the 40 of Zach Buchanan, who has been mired back in 12th for most of this day. Been kind of stuck ever since his trouble. So, Stephen Larkamp rounds the final corner, the 13th corner here at Indianapolis Road, and he's going to take the victory in round 3 of 15 in the 2018 Rigshare World Series. Stephen Larkamp, a winner again. Jackson Robillard coming home P2, and Johnny Eckert rounding Indianapolis turn 1 for the oval in that number 90. And Tim Silliman closing, but not going to get there in time, and they're going to finish third. Actually, okay, that was really strange there for a second. Johnny Eckert going to take P3, Tim Silliman P4, and Tyler Tucker in the Royal Purple 55 going to bring it home in 5th. So those are your top 5. Meanwhile, Danny Roberts, Kyle Pokerfkey, Justin Nichols, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Cody Wenz in 9th, Aaron Bean 10th. So Aaron Bean managed to rebound just a little bit and grab that top 10 spot. Tanner Watkins, Zach Buchanan, Chris Gutierrez, Chris Badorf are the last cars running on the racetrack. Zach Buchanan is the last car on the lead lap.
Yeah, great performance from Stephen Larkamp. Definitely showing that he was the champion for the last 5 seasons. So he's finally got his first win of the season, and good points stay under his belt.
So Larkamp's, whoa, do a little burnouts. I think that was Chris Badorf jumping out of the way there. Oh, I don't know what happened there, but yeah, Stephen Larkamp victorious here at Indianapolis Road. And I don't think we're going to shut the stream down again to get this audio working. I think we're just going to have to tap out at this point. So I really, really hate it this week that we had some audio issues with OBS and Windows. This is definitely my priority for the next couple days to get that fixed and working. Not sure what's up. For those watching on YouTube, I'm going to take these clips down for the evening and splice them together. So you'll see that up in the next couple hours or by tomorrow morning, whatever the most convenient time is. So our apologies for that. That's probably my fault, but we're going to get that fixed and fixed for the next round. So next week we have Indianapolis 500 qualifying that will not be broadcasted. That is next Monday. And then the Monday after that we go racing in Indianapolis, and I'll be back home, and Finney will be back home, and we'll have a new rig set up so we can probably commentate a little bit more effectively than we can here at college. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Again, I apologize for the frustrating viewing experience this evening and the lack of audio from the vehicles on the racetrack. But again, we'll try to get that fixed as soon as we can. So no interviews this evening. Our apologies. We're going to talk to Stephen Larkamp and just apologize for that. But congratulations to him. And we expect to see those point standings shuffle up. And we'll be with you in 2 weeks for the Indianapolis 500 for the International Sim Drivers Club and the Rigshare World Series. Thanks for watching.